It usually starts before your feet even hit the floor. Your eyes open too early, your chest is already tight, and for a second you can't tell whether you were sleeping or bracing. Nothing dramatic happened, no emergency, no bad news on your phone. And still your body acts like it missed a warning siren in the night. From the outside, it doesn't look like much. You're sitting still, you answer texts. And the part that makes it worse is how invisible it is. People see someone thoughtful, careful, emotionally tuned in. They don't see the mental courtroom that reopens old cases from 10 years ago. It doesn't just live in your head as a theory. It shows up in tiny, humiliating moments that nobody else sees. You send a normal text, put the phone down, and within 30 seconds you pick it back up to reread your own wording like it's evidence in a trial. That's the brutal part of this pattern. It turns downtime into investigation. A peaceful evening becomes an internal meeting you never agreed to attend. And the pain gets sharper in relationships. You can sit across from someone you care about, hear they are fine, and instantly begin decoding tone, posture, timing, and subtext. You don't get to simply hear words. When this has been happening for years, it stops feeling like a habit, and it starts feeling like your actual personality. Like you are just the one who thinks too much. But usually the suffering is much more specific than that. It's the racing chest before a harmless email. If this is how your mind works, you're not broken, and you're definitely not the only one. A lot of people live inside this split without having words for it. One part of the mind is honestly trying to help, reviewing, checking, making sense of what happened. That's why it feels so confusing. Sometimes your overthinking really has helped you. It made you careful. And that's the trap so many people quietly recognize. You replay a conversation from 10 years ago while brushing your teeth. What makes it harder is that the loop can feel productive. Your brain is active, busy, searching, comparing, building arguments, rehearsing outcomes. It gives the impression that you're getting somewhere. That private contradiction is incredibly common. You hate the spiral, but some part of you keeps returning to it. Research keeps pointing to the same uncomfortable truth. People who ruminate more often score higher in cognitive empathy. In plain language, they're better at tracking what others might be thinking or feeling. So the pressure is not coming from some moral failure inside you. But this is where the mechanism turns on you. Perception is not the same as resolution. You can notice 10 possible meanings and still have no clean answer. Then make the boundary physical. Put both feet on the floor. Unclench your jaw. And when the old loop says to figure it out now or else, answer with procedure, not debate. Not now, not like this, not in this body state. Your mind learned vigilance for a reason. So this is the part I want to leave you with. The goal is not to become a person who never thinks deeply again. That would not be healing, that would be self-erasure. Your mind learned to scan, compare, predict, replay, and prepare for reasons that once made sense. That matters, because for many people this pattern has quietly become an identity. Not just that I overthink, but that I am the difficult one, the intense one, the one who can't relax, the one who ruins peace by needing certainty. Once a coping pattern hardens into a self-description, you don't just fight the habit, you start defending it, apologizing for it, building your whole life around it. You check your phone one more time before bed, not perfectly, not in one dramatic breakthrough. Usually in ordinary moments so small they almost look unimportant. The moment you notice your shoulders are up by your ears, and you finally drop them an inch. Because that's really the shift, isn't it? Not from thinking to never thinking, but from being ruled to being informed. Your thoughts can report, they do not have to govern. A lot of exhausted people are not missing insight, they are missing permission. Permission to stop the meeting in their head. And yes, for some of you this will feel unfamiliar enough to be uncomfortable. Quiet can feel irresponsible when you were trained to anticipate impact. Slowing down can feel dangerous when your whole history taught you a lesson, that the person who notices first gets hurt less. That's why this work has to be gentle. If you attack your overthinking with the same harshness that created it, you only make the pattern dig in deeper. Maybe that means you begin to recognize the old sequence sooner. The stomach tightens, the jaw sets, the mind starts producing alternate endings. You feel the urge to solve, fix, rehearse, review. So if you have spent years believing your worth lives inside your vigilance, you need to hear this carefully. You do not have to earn peace by exhausting yourself first. You do not have to solve your way into deserving rest. You do not have to become less intelligent, less sensitive, or less perceptive just in order to suffer less. The task is not to amputate the parts of you that notice. The task is to separate noticing from captivity. That's a very different future than the one overthinking predicts. Not a future where you never feel uncertainty again, but one where uncertainty does not automatically recruit your whole body. A future where a memory can visit without taking over the room, where a stray comment does not get cross-examined for 6 hours. And that choice matters because identity follows repetition. Every time you pause before entering the loop, every time you loosen your hold on a thought that once consumed your night, you are not just managing symptoms, you are teaching yourself a new role. Not the emergency analyst, not the permanent witness for the prosecution, not the internal committee chairing another midnight review. That version of you is not imaginary. It's not a personality transplant. It's probably the most intact part of you. The part that existed before constant anticipation became a lifestyle. So if you take anything from this, let it be this. Your mind may generate noise, but your life is built by what you practice returning to. The breath, the chair beneath you. So no, this does not end with a miracle cure. It ends with something more honest. Your mind may always be active, your sensitivity may always be strong, your pattern recognition may always be quick,